I'd like to welcome you to this wonderful event where we unleash on you the force called the LGI, the Lead Generation Initiative. The theme for today is the future of leadership, role of the youth. I'd like to welcome you to a revolution in the making. If you're happy to be here, if you're happy to be part of a new dawn, I ask that you please give yourself a round of applause. Colin Powell, the former U.S. Defense Secretary, says, and I quote, "A dream does not become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work." He goes on to say, "There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure." Sophocles, the Greek philosopher, says, "Without labor, nothing prospers." And the 44th American president, the first black one, if I might add, says, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the change that we seek." Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, not just you people in the room, but the people in the 36 states of the Federation and all those who are online, who are already engaged in serious discussion about how the youths can effect change in Nigeria. I'd like to welcome you to this wonderful afternoon and ask you to please do us the honor of giving yourself a round of applause, please. Now, I want to take you online and show you what is happening. I'll ask the engineer to flip some messages we have online. I've been on it for about 1 hour, and it's been vigorous. It's been very, very, very. I think what you Sunday Ferdinand says, clapping hands. How many youths can buy presidential tickets? We all see how they treat the youths on 12-10-12. Discussion on youth leadership should not concern current crop of leaders in Africa because no one trusts them. It should be youth versus youth. Some youth have been bought self.
Don't tell me things can't change in Nigeria. Things can definitely change. Things will definitely change. There's a lot of efforts that organizations like this and many other organizations are also putting in to ensure that we have a Nigeria that is the Nigeria of our dreams, you know. If you want to define Nigeria today, you have to say that Nigeria is a young country because the majority of our population are young people.
I humbly seek your permission to stand on the existing protocols. I'm sorry I'm unable to be physically present here today. It's due to the COVID-19 restrictions and lockdown in place where I am presently. However, unfortunately, this is a part virtual and part physical event. I welcome you all with great delight to the Lead Generation Initiative's Leadership Symposium, themed The Future of Leadership, Role of the Youth. The Lead Generation Initiative is a non-governmental, non-profit and non-political organization committed to creating opportunities for young Nigerians to channel their creativity, energy and aspirations to adding value to our dear country right from their immediate communities. Our firm commitment to galvanizing, training and empowering the youth to take part in the task of rebuilding our dear country is evident in our numerous laudable programs, one of which is the Get Involved Leadership Training, which we call the GILT, a training for the youth across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT.
And one day we'll shine. star. We're a great nation.
I believe that we need to maximize the potential of our young people. We need people with integrity, people that are more driven, innovative to take over the public space, the policy making process, and all of that. We just need leaders. And I think younger people with integrity, with innovative ideas are the right people for that job. And this platform is giving us that opportunity.
So when we talk about leaders, I always see leaders as those who always disagree with the status quo. They are those who know that history doesn't just happen to us, but we make history happen. Leaders are those incurable optimists who see opportunities, even in the midst of pandemics, rather than seeing obstacles. They're those who realize that not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. There are those who will choose to live inconveniently, and most times they will have to even run away from friends, turn off the TV, turn off the phone. And in most cases, when they are presented with the opportunity to choose between pain and pleasure, they will even choose pain instead of pleasure. The problem I have seen in this country is that we do not have leadership filters. By that I mean that there's no non-rational process of processing the character of those we want to put in position of authority. In most cases, when we're thinking of putting someone in a position of leadership, the question that agitates our mind is he loyal? Rather than, is the person capable of doing the work? So the situation, the tragedy can be summed up as the triumph of loyalty over competence. And in most cases, the loyalty we'll talk about Nigeria is actually sycophancy. But what most of us as leaders forget is that an incompetent loyalist in the school of leadership, an incompetent loyalist is utterly disloyal, let me say that. I want to underpin it with a quotation from the greatest general ever that lived, Alexander the Great. Talking about leadership, the man who saw all the wars, fought all the wars, at a point even sat down and cried to God and said, they asked him, Great General, why are you crying? He said, I'm crying because there are no more walls to be conquered. But he said something that is very, very instructive about leadership. He said he is always scared of an army of sheep led by a lion than an army of lions led by a sheep. So that should sum up everything. Leadership is not a child's business. Even when we talk about young people, I'm not referring to issue caution of age, but I'm talking to maturity in terms of what someone has been able to exercise, someone has been able to polish, that he can demonstrate as a leader. So we have this challenge. There's no way Nigeria can grow beyond its leadership. It's never happened in the world, never happened in any country, never happened in any nation, and it will not happen in Nigeria.
Nigeria is a country populated by youths, and driven by youths. And you see, first of all, the media space has contributed a lot in our restful nature as young minds. And so we are more driven with things that should entice us, things that we want to just make the fun of, you know. A typical example of why we are so restive, and why that is a classical example of what we represent today, is the TikTok app. You see everybody doing so many challenges as to a dance, bot it down and all the boss it and all that, but there is never a challenge as to leadership. You see, that is why initiatives like this should be really encouraged. It's a wake-up call. It's a challenge to leadership. And I think it serves in the direction to change our mindset on what it currently is to what it's meant to be. We cannot keep making comments. We cannot keep making jokes about certain things that demands our very attention. Believe you me, if the invasion at the capital happened in Nigeria, believe you me that people would want to make jokes out of it.
You know, the question of youth is typically discussed in the language of tomorrow. But you see, youth is not a question, it's an answer for today. A shared responsibility between those who currently hold the levers of power and can and must create space for young people, and also a responsibility for young people to not wait for space to be created for them, but to rise up and seize it and create it. But you see, for young people to be able to do that and do it effectively for posterity, it is important that we are able to contextualize the present in the light of the past. How did we get here? This ridiculous mountain that we have circled for so many years. What, why, and who? As the Igbo proverb popularized by the late novelist Chinua Achebe cleverly puts it, a man who does not know where the rain started to beat him cannot tell effectively where he got dried. Sounds so tired. You are the one saying flames. I was wondering, there's an old person here who knows me. That name is an old name. History is the art and culture of the Nok people, Benin bronze heads, Fulani empires that sprawled from the caliphate in Sokoto to the dusty lands of the Sudan, Yoruba monarchies and deities, Igbo republican systems of government, independent nations and civilizations pre-colonization. History is the Royal Niger Company, the Queen's incursion into new territory, King Jaja of Okpobo, the King of Cocoa, spears raised, swords brandished, guns blazed, rebellious native chiefs vanquished, indirect rule, 1914, amalgamation, North-South, Lugard, Niger area, Flora Shore, Nigeria. History is. And the Fourth Republic, and here we are, in a democracy that's anything but for the people, an economy controlled by political bandits and Western-trained technocrats, cocooned in high-rise glass houses, spinning abstract policies to alleviate widespread sufferings they can't feel. History is the rise of an army of angry youths that can't deal with the long shadows of despair, the past cast on the future, fingers constantly on keypads, spewing venom, they swear. Revolution. Will they change the course of history? Yes. No. Maybe. History is what we forgot, what we must remember, what we must redefine for the sake of our children. Now, then, forever. What will you do? History is a desperate poet in search of his muse. This poem has gone on for too long. I didn't mean to bore you. Thank you.
Bakari Akim Adedayo says, I'm never an advocate for youth governance. Look at the likes of the idiots in the house. Why do the elites that have the capability and goodwill perhaps shy away from it? They blame the youth for voting same old hearts. They should stop speaking from behind the curtain. Come out on the streets. Vance Ikem says, this is a narrative I refuse to understand. America just voted in 33-year-old Ossoff as senator and 78-year-old Biden as president. JFK was 45. Later, a 74-year-old Reagan became president. GJ was 54, I think, and PMB 72. Duke was 38. Lam Additional, same period, was almost 70. They must coexist.
The only way is like youth involvement in the politics. We need bright minds, bright ideas. The old ones need to go away. The youth needs to get more active, more involved. That's for me. That's
Leadership comes in different strata. You could be a financial institution. It could be in the business enterprises. It could be political. But in this case, having seen the comments from tweets, I think most of us here are referring to political leadership. Leadership is all about human management. Leadership is all about being fair and just. We have different strata of leaders. You have a governor who is a leader. You have commissioner who is in charge of a whole ministry. He is a leader because he has to manage the ministry and the people. You have local government council chairman. He is a leader. You have local government party chairman. He is a leader. You have ward chairman. He also is a leader. My perspective and understanding of so many things when it comes to leadership had to change. You have to be as humble as possible. You have to be extremely humble. And that is why sometimes I walk past through people, they don't even know who I am. I just walk right through them and pass and go away. My appeal is to young people is, regardless of your gender or your religion or whatever, please do not forget your very foundation, your base, which is from your word. Pay attention, start from there.
A lot of people can be mentored, a platform where a lot of people can be educated. It's a platform that we keep crying about. We don't have too many mentors to look forward to, because a lot of young people, they call people like me, they message people like me and say, I want to get mentored, I don't know where to go, I want to start business, I want to get into politics, I want to get into public service.
The fact that this initiative is a private initiative, because government cannot do it all. I was a youth, and it's a rite of passage. And it cannot be different from any youth, either in this country or elsewhere. That rite of passage demands from every youth of this country service. It demands from every youth of this country discipline. It demands a level of education. And above all, it demands participation. The Yorubas have an adage that says, how can you complain when you are not at the table when they were sharing the booty? Education is critical for leadership. Education is critical for our youth. Are youth ready to step up into the space? Are youth educated? Are youth ready to participate, to make the sacrifices necessary to bring about the change that we desire? We have moved from youth empowerment. It is now about youth investment. Government must start to invest in a deliberate way in the huge population of our country. That is what we are about, and we hope that the vast population of the youth in this country will partner with us. Finally, we must be careful to draw a line. The line might be very thin between our understanding of leadership as it stands and that of youth. We must understand clearly what leadership entails, because leadership cuts across from the old leaders to the young leaders, and then youth, and then how we can connect the dots.
Yeah, a lot have changed, right? Because like this initiative, I'm sure is part of the result of NSAS, when they used to have to stand to speak for the voiceless. And I believe the sacrifice we make today is for our next generations to come. If we don't sacrifice, if we don't speak, nobody will speak, and everything will keep on the way it has been.
Hello, sir. How can we have more active Nigerian youths in government, and not just active, but those with good interests, for the nation at heart?
Right. Let me just attempt to take that question. It's a very broad question. But let me start by something historic that happened about 2 years, 4 months ago. It was a culmination of the efforts on the part of our youth to increase the participation of youth in governance and leadership. It was an attempt to kind of turn the window of participation into a door. The president of this country, President Yakubu Dogara, signed the Not Too Young to Run bill. That was a movement that was pioneered and led by the youth. Now, in 2.5 years after that was signed, the question is how many of our youth have walked through that door? I think that was an important document. And if our youth have not walked through that door in enough numbers, I think it's an opportunity. If no door is open for political participation, there's a problem. A door has been opened. Secondly, the question of interest. I think I'll speak a bit about leadership. Leadership is like a ladder. A ladder has several steps, and you can have leaders at various levels. We must be careful not to be besotted with political power, because when we talk about leadership, our sights are set on political leadership. Being a governor, a commissioner, a minister, and special advisor. But leadership is beyond that. You can be a leader and be impactful at several levels. In labor union, we've seen the NANS, the Student Association, at various levels. We must expand our vision of leadership, because you could also rise to the rank and file.
He who has the youth has the future. So today, talking about leadership, and the Right Honorable Speaker made mention about leadership being seen as someone who has influence. Now, when we talk about leadership, most times we look at leadership from the aspect of government. But every one of us, like my boss said earlier, every one of us in our own right, we are leaders. Leadership cuts across. It cuts from the top to the bottom. Wherever you find yourself, it is a place of influence. And whatever influence you are getting or putting out is you are channeling and giving a direction of leadership. So as we all come together to talk about leadership, it's about how each one of us uses influence for a productive use.
To me, it's an avenue that has opened up the minds of a lot of youths and a lot of people here, and not only the youths, but some of us that are into policy making and law making as well. That look, it's time for us to really change the narratives on how youths can lead. I will look at issue of being strategic, because over the years, being involved in youth and leadership programs, mentoring and so on and so forth, I discovered that most of us youths are not strategic in bringing out issues that we really want. We weren't strategic in even choosing who will be the leader. Most of the youths were not strategic in choosing who will occupy what position, and everybody just ran with the wind of change.
Adolf Hitler, who says that he who has the youth has the future. And now the youth shouldn't wait for the future. Now is their time to get involved. If we talk about the future will never come. You understand? But now is for them to get involved, to get engaged, and to also know that if they are able to, they own a responsibility of reshaping the politics of this country. So it's now that we want them to be engaged, not in the future.
There are lots of people that are not contesting for office, but are in politics, right? At the ward level, at the local government level. You need to be in the system to effect change. Apart from that, it will also enlighten you and even know what to ask for and know how to criticize the government in place.
Over the years, they'll tell you they've lost trust They've lost, trust in the governance of the country. You can't blame them. There's been serial corruption, serial bad leadership over the years. And if there's nothing worthy of emulating, from the eyes of the youth, they'll lose that connection. They've lacked heroes for over how many decades now? There's nobody that you can say, oh, I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to be like that when I grow up. There's nobody. And when you start from that kind of mindset, look at it from that angle. And then you see there's a problem somewhere.
Young Nigerians are not even educated. One of our biggest issues as a country right now is that we have a human development problem. And that's before you start talking about the fact that those that are in school cannot even go to school. They were out of school for 1 year. That would be a national crisis in some other country. In Nigeria, if we don't have petrol for a week or two, it's a big deal. But if the future does not go to school for an entire year, nobody cares.
I've heard Oloye and a few others about going to the ward, spending time there, merging with the people, getting to know them and spending time. Not just that you're intelligent and think that you're capable. They don't know you. That's what they'll say. They don't know you. You haven't spent time. You haven't suffered like the governor said. You haven't suffered with them. And there are people on the line. You can't just come and enter and say you want to go somewhere. No, they have some kind of system, and you have to have been in that system to be able to emerge or even contest and all of that. So that for me is a learning curve, but that's after the fact. And I'm really glad I went through the process. It was I would advise so many people to go through it. Then you will understand what politics is all about. But like a lot of people have said, it's not just about politics. Politics is just one aspect of our lives as a people. But politics is a major part because of the policies that are made, the things that affect our daily living. So people always look, oh, I want to be governor, I want to be House of Reps, I want to be president. Not knowing that from the little places that you are, you can effect change. And like Omojua said, we're already deficient. We're running at, we're running behind because we need to really overhaul the system. There's so much wrong, so much needs to be overturned so that we can finally get on the right path. And I pray really that there will be a Kamala Harris in Nigeria, even if as a governor first.
Leadership does not just center around governance. Leadership happens, in different forms. There's leadership, in the country. You can have a leadership in the state. You can have a leadership in your place of work. You can have leadership in your church. You can have leadership in your compound, and so on and so forth. So what you need to know is what is required of a leader. What makes a good leader? And it's high time for us to actually be looking at all these factors before electing the people that we call our leaders. That is what the generation has brought for us. It's a non-governmental, it's a non-political, non-partisan, and non-profit organization that is committed to give opportunity to young Nigerians to channel their creativity, to channel their energy into developing their immediate environment. If you fix your environment, I fix my environment, I'm sure we'll be fixing an entire nation ourselves. And if you look at Nigeria today, I believe that it's high time for us to be able to harmonize our voice. Because even during elections, vote counts, and it's by numbers. If you look at our population today, the young people occupy over 60% of our population. People that are over 65 years and above are even less than 5% of our population, and yet they still rule us. So it's like we are not getting something right. So what the generation has come to do is to give an opportunity for young people to come together to be able to take charge. And it can never be earlier than now.
I want to come from another angle because I feel like we need a multi-dimensional approach to what we're talking about. And I just want to come from the mind of the youth as well. Over the years, we've lacked heroes in places of power, people worthy of emulating and other things. The youth actually always want to live their life like they're heroes, like people they have grown up to see do great things, achieve milestones, and
everything. So you see, that part of it, we need to think, we need to, depoliticize it and come from a place of a humane mindset and just think about how over the years, serially, bad leadership has, turned the mind of the youth away from governance and all those things, and just being passive, like, everybody in Nigeria today, they will tell you that, they are all governments on their own.
It's very important to get the youths involved in government. And this wonderful initiative by Honorable Shina Pella is going to do just that. Get closer to the youths, find out what their problems are, how to solve them, how to get political participation from the side of the youths, which is actually the most populous part of Nigeria. There are more youths in Nigeria than there are older people. So the sooner we start educating the youths the importance of political participation, it would help them to recognize the roles they are supposed to play and how important it is in the future of Nigeria.
It's a new dawn. I believe it is a new dawn. I believe the era where the voice of the young people of Nigeria can be heard has arrived. I'm so excited today to see that an idea that I conceived about a year ago, to finally see it come to reality today. So, my people, I'm so happy today with what all our fantastic speakers have said. Every speaker that have spoken on this stage today have spoken so well. All the speakers we're talking about the vision, the mission of the Lead Generation Initiative. That lead generation might be an idea conceived by me, and I am only telling you as the chairman, board of trustees of Lead Generation, I am only the custodian of Lead Generation. I am here to bring this initiative on the table for every Nigerian that believes that Nigeria can still be a better place. I want everybody to come on board Lead Generation. I want everybody to register with Lead Generation. And please, let us move together in one voice. Let us harmonize our strength. Let us know the importance of us taking unity as an important factor for us to address every issue that has to do with nation building. So my people, I thank you so much for coming out. I thank you so much for supporting this initiative, and I pray to God to continue to bless our country, Nigeria. God bless you all. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Who are the leaders of tomorrow? According to Alma Powell, when young people discover they can be agents of change, wonderful things happen. They start to serve in the neighborhoods, learn about public issues, create innovative solutions to tough public challenges, and eventually become the voters, community project builders, and leaders in our communities and nation. Alma Powell, American audiologist. Are you a Nigerian youth with the vibes and energy as described by Powell? Are you passionate about being a leader and a key decision maker in the growth of our dear country? Have you been looking for opportunities or platforms geared towards youth development and leadership trainings? Lead Generation Initiative is the platform to subscribe to. Our major goal is to empower youths to be actively involved in leadership roles.
But I believe that if we are able to build our immediate community, and we build one community at a time, we will end up building a nation, and at the same time making the world a better place for everybody.
Really, if you don't take anything away from here, please take away the fact that you should get involved.
Today, we are not just welcoming you to the National Unveiling Lead Generation Initiative, but also inviting every young and aspiring Nigerian youth to be part of the build-up to a better Nigeria through active and efficient political participation. Themed, Future of Leadership, Role of the Youth. On this day, 21st of January 2020, the idea was born. Ladies and gentlemen, Today, 21st of January 2021, we officially present to you the Lead Generation Initiative.